तमाम वो बहनें जो हया मार्च कर रही हैं, मैं उनके साथ हूँ, क्योंकि कम से कम वो अपनी पब्लिक स्पेस को रिक्लेम कर रही हैं। वो आज सड़कों पर निकली हैं।
नेशनल प्रेस क्लब इस्लामाबाद में औरत आज़ादी मार्च।
घर में ख़वातीन का आलमी दिन मनाया जा रहा है।
In my line of work, I see a lot of injustice for girls.
या किसी सियासी जमातों में है।
फेक फेमिनिज्म का चर्चा लेके
ये हमारी मर्द मार्च हो रही है।
इसके साथ क्या हुआ है? वो कौन से राइट्स इनके छिन गए?
Alright, this is going to be a bit tricky, but I really want to talk about this topic. It's July 20th, 2021. Noor Muqaddam, the daughter of the former Pakistani diplomat Shaukat Muqaddam, but more importantly, a woman in Pakistan, is beheaded after being brutally tortured by a man. His name? Zahir Jafar. The news starts spreading like wildfire, and there's mayhem and fear on social media. Post after post, story after story, tweet after tweet, and protest after protest of people sympathizing with Noor and her family and condemning the actions of Zahir.
So you must be aware of what is recently happening in terms of, you heard about Noor Muqaddam.
Yeah, he worked with us.
So I'm really sorry. I mean, then you must be
She's very kind and she loves animals, and she's very soft kind of woman, and we were very sad and we're also shocked about it.
This is the outcry of Pakistani women. They've had enough, and this is just one case. Every day, somewhere in this country, some woman is being robbed of her basic human rights, and women are tired of having to protest and fight every time this happens. There is, however, another kind of outcry as well. The kind that argues that the victim was out late, that they were wearing a certain style of clothing, or that not all men are like that, invalidating the purpose of the protest.
ज़ाहिर के साथ नूर मुकद्दम के सैकड़ों राब्ते हैं 6 महीने में, अपने वालिद के साथ 3 राब्ते हैं। ये क्या है? यानी कनेक्टिविटी जिधर होनी चाहिए थी उधर नहीं है, जिधर नहीं बनती उधर है। तो इस तरह की चीजों के नतायज ऐसे होते हैं।
So I want to know why things are like this. I want to know why victim blaming exists and why hashtags like not all men are trending. But most of all, I want to know why do these incidents keep on happening?
मरकजी मुल्ज़िम उस्मान मिर्जा समेत 4 मुल्ज़िमान का मज़ीद 3 रोज़ा।
How could anybody imagine?
एक घटिया नारा है, that's it.
We've discussed the plight of Pakistani women, the culture of impunity they have to deal with.
But wait, I do want to tell you this story, but I won't be doing it justice if I'm the only one telling it. Which is why
We'll be telling it.
Here's a simple understanding of why they keep on happening. If you want to stop certain actions, behaviors, and practices from becoming a part of society, it's important that there is a punishment for those actions that tell people, hey, don't do that, that's bad. In sociology, this consequence is known as a sanction. Let's break it down. Sanctions can be either rewards or punishments. The idea is that society is regulated through these sanctions and social order is maintained. So what happens when there are no such sanctions? The human mind simply fails to recognize right and wrong, and society collapses. Another way to look at it is through the law. There is this idea of liability, responsibility, and conviction. An absence of any of these is known as impunity. Simply put, impunity is an exemption. It's when you don't punish a criminal for a crime he or she has committed. And when a criminal is exempted from the punishment of the crime he has committed, the human mind begins to stop recognizing crime as a crime. And the rate of crimes increases since there's no fear of accountability and punishment.
And the courts are blaming the victim, or the courts are thinking that, yes, I mean, sure, something has happened, but it doesn't really warrant a punishment. Or even if it warrants a punishment, but this person has been a model citizen before this incident. Therefore, we shouldn't give them a punishment or a reduced punishment. I mean, nobody would say this for murder. Like, किसी ने murder किया, आपको क्या अच्छा, इसका पहला murder है तो चलो कुछ नहीं होता. But when it comes to other instances of GBV, also murder can be part of it. Courts tend to be more sympathetic towards the perpetrator.
सजा देनी चाहिए ऐसे लोगों को। बाज़ ऐसे होते हैं, जैसे हमारी बहुत मशहूर कंदील बलोच का किस्सा हुआ था। बाप बेटे ने भाई ने मारा, और जब वो मुकदमा गया तो बाप, ऑब्वियसली ही वाज अ सन, तो बाप ने वो माफ़ कर दिया उसको। ठीक है, तो ऐसे नहीं होना चाहिए, चाहे जो भी हो सज़ा ज़रूर होनी चाहिए।
Other than lack of punishment, normalization of abuse and violence also gives rise to such acts. The representation of women in Pakistani dramas has always been that of a certain kind of Pakistani woman, one who served as a corrective measure for the society. These films and dramas depict the social and political environment of the time and have historically acted as detrimental to project and curate a certain perception of Pakistani women. Let me give you a few examples. In the 1970s, during the era of socialist leader Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, the popular slogan for an ordinary man was Roti, Kapda or Makan, which translated in films as the man always being the common man from the rural areas, and female characters only there as secondary to the male protagonists, serving the lewd dances and as objects of sex and violence. In these films, rape and violence became a recurring trope in order to empower an ordinary man from the village. Similarly, slaps in Punjabi films became a common thing. A research conducted on Punjabi films from 1947 to 2010 revealed a total of 180 slaps, out of which more than half were gendered, portraying the woman's body as vessel of honor and izzat. Such violence shows the loss of women's autonomy and individuality. The slaps suggested putting a woman in her place. Moving forward, since 2010, new Pakistani dramas stem from the motivation of replacing popular Indian dramas, so they include similar themes and storylines. They show young women as weak and helpless and threatened by domestic violence, second marriage, divorce, as well as being kicked out of the house.
I feel like कि ड्रामों में एक ही चीज़ repeatedly दिखाई जा रही होती है हर ड्रामे में कह लो, and I feel like कि जो हमारी मीडिया है या जो ये फिल्म इंडस्ट्री है, they should focus on जो actual like एक better image दिखानी चाहिए to represent the girls, you know. हर वक्त लड़कियों को shadow में नहीं रखना चाहिए.
So this explains why we've become so desensitized to abuse against women. Why don't we shudder every time we mention the cases of Saima, Kandil, Kurtulain or Noor? I'm here at F9 Park and I came here to know what the common man feels about these horrific incidents and this topic in general.
मेरे ख्याल में यही है कि अपने आपको बाउंड रखें, लड़कियों को इस तरह घर से बाहर निकल के किसी मतलब इस तरह करना मुझे नहीं लगता कि ऐसा करना चाहिए. मतलब पहले भी उनके अफेयर्स थे ना, तभी तो जाके फिर मामला इधर तक पहुंचा. मैं समझता हूँ कि हर किसी को अपने एक लिमिट में रहना चाहिए, ख़ासकर औरतों को अपने घरों में रहना चाहिए ताकि वो महफूज रहे.
इस्लाम ने जो आपको जो हुकूक दिया पर्दे के लिहाज से, जो आप उस दायरे के अंदर रहते तो ऐसे कोई नहीं है कि हमने सुना है कि कोई कत्ल हुआ है या कोई रेप हुआ है.
औरत के लिए तो ज़िंदगी सुकून से है, तो मर्द के लिए अज़ाब है. सीधी बात है, वो सुकून है क्योंकि वो एसी के अंदर बैठती हैं, काम करती हैं, चलो जी ठीक है.
This complacent attitude and victim blaming is justified and perpetuated by the faulty understanding of religion in our society. Whenever I see an outcry like this, I tend to see justification for the crime and very little sympathy for the victim. In our society, honor and izzat is attached to the woman's body because there is a belief that in Islam, the woman is responsible for taking her husband, father and brother to hell for the sins she commits. But is this belief really true? To better understand this and other misconceptions, we talked to Dr. Khalid Sahir.
The Quran in Surah Al-Ma'idah, the 5th chapter says, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu, believers, alaykum anfusakum. Upon you is your responsibility. You are accountable for your own selves. La yadhurrukum. Nobody can harm you. Man dhalla, who goes astray. In ihtadaytum, if you are rightly guided. This verse clearly mentions that each individual has her own responsibility and obligation, which if the individual is discharging properly, then no matter what others are doing, he or she is guaranteed success in the hereafter.
Similarly, oftentimes I see a circulation of this Quranic verse about lightly beating the wife, which is used by men to propagate hate. But I think we need to understand what the verse really means.
If this verse is properly understood, the possibility of wife bashing is completely eliminated. The verse says that if a wife becomes rebellious, rebellious means that a wife says to her husband that I don't care who you are. You have no respect in my eyes. I will do what I would want to. This obviously is something which would cause a husband to be enraged. In this extreme case, talk to them, help them realize. Then it says, وَهْجُرُوهُنَّ فِي الْمَضَاجِعِ. Leave them alone in their beds, and change your bedrooms or whatever. Now, this is not going to happen in a matter of few minutes. And then when this rebellious attitude, despite the first two steps taken, continue, the Quran says, which really means you can subject her to a light physical punishment. Had this statement not been there, there would have been a possibility of women getting bashed, beaten up by their husbands because of the absence of any mention. This mention is there, which is right at the end of a list of 3 steps, which really means that it's talking about a very rare wife who is rebellious and is not stopping it. This verse, after having been properly understood, how could anybody imagine a wife does something which husband doesn't like and he's outraged and he slaps her on her face? Is absolutely un-Islamic.
Another big misunderstanding is about parda and tying society's overall morality on it. This is classic victim blaming and is voiced by many people from various backgrounds.
That's not the reason why women are raped. Even if a lady is in a burqa, if there is a person who's gone mad, he has no respect for women, he will do it. Wherein right from the childhood days, we should teach our kids, particularly boys, that women are to be respected.
As I was editing this video, I thought that an analogy would really help explain this concept. So let's say you're going out and you're just minding your own business, walking along the street, and a couple of men come up to you, they point a gun at you and force you to give your phone to them. Now, a crime has been committed and you would just be shocked and you wouldn't even think of anyone blaming you for this. If anything, the blame would go to the perpetrators, the ones who stole the phone. It's very simple for us to think about these things when it comes to crimes like this, but when it comes to gender-based violence, it just becomes a huge debate. The conversation that we had with Dr. Khalid really made me wonder, is Islam really such a strict religion? Or is it used as an instrument to further certain beliefs, only to maintain the existing power dynamics of this society?
Suddenly you have to show that you're religious enough, or you have to show that you're cultural enough. You go back to women's laws, you go back to women's bodies, because that is where you exercise your control to the fullest. And you have kind of created a system where it can be done. So that's why we call this problem systematic, or we call this problem systemic, because it is very much entrenched in the system as a tool of exercising control, as a tool of exercising power as well.
Because religion is used to protect this existing power dynamic in Pakistan, any challenges and threats against the system are portrayed as things that are not part of our religion or culture. But women activism is not something that suddenly sprung out with the Aurat March in 2018.
In fact, it predates Pakistan. In 1916, women's societies like Anjuman-e-Khawateen-e-Islam were advocating for women's rights to political participation, inheritance, education, work, and protection from violence and abuse. Then, in the 1940s, women played an active role in the struggle for the inception of Pakistan. Fatma Jinnah, Begum Rana Liaquat Ali Khan, Begum Shah Nawaz, and Shaista Ikramullah are only few of the prominent names that worked side by side with the men of the Pakistan movement. Women activism continued into the 1940s with the creation of APWA, a non-profit organization that worked with the government to protect women's rights under the Muslim family laws.
All Pakistan Women's Association के नाम से ये इदारा शुरू किया,
which included the rights of the mother, daughter, and wife. Then, during Zia's regime, women activism took a revolutionary shape with the formation of the Women Action Forum.
Suddenly, women were being controlled. They were being told how to move around, how to dress up, where to go, what to do, what time.
This questioning of a woman and what she should be doing and what she should not be doing, coming from the head of the government, of the state. Since when did anyone have the right to be the guardians of morality?
Pakistan's women took to the streets and challenged laws like the Hudud Ordinance that were specifically targeted towards women. And it was also during this time that Benazir Bhutto led the popular movement for the restoration of democracy against Zia's dictatorship. All of this just goes to show that time and time again, women have worked tirelessly to prove themselves as political agents of change in Pakistan. But we do not know this. This history is not taught to us. And so, today, when women demand agency and take to the streets, they face severe backlash.
They have tortured women! They have dishonored women! This is not democracy!
The idea of a politically engaged woman is foreign to us, and this has been done intentionally.
What we don't really understand is that when we don't teach this history, when we actively invisibilize female role models coming from this particular historical context, we are doing a disservice, because then women are never seen as political agents. And I feel like Fatma Jinnah's example is very important. We always are so comfortable in talking about her as mother of the nation or Jinnah's ever loyal virginal sister, but what we don't really try to focus on, that she actually kind of, I would say in my opinion, she is the first woman who kind of engaged women in electoral politics. She set an example. She was the first president, not just Benazir, Fatma Jinnah herself, who actually entered popular electoral politics, did campaigning aggressively to kind of create this culture where women can be seen as equal political competitors as well.
You see, the problem begins at home. We know there's a difference in the way daughters and sons are treated. It's the sons to whom food is served first at home. It's the sons who are never taught about consent. And it's the sons who are never questioned where they're going or why they're going there.
माँ, राजू को हमसे ज्यादा मिला। इसे तो ज्यादा मिलता ही है। जानती नहीं, ऐसा तो होता ही है।
These sons grow up to become men who make this society dangerous for the daughters. Yet it is the daughters who are told to be home well before Maghrib, to wear only this or that, and essentially be a good daughter. And the cycle repeats itself. Is this really the family culture that we want to preserve? I'm here at FN Markaz, and where I'm sitting is this place where there are tables and chairs for people to sit and eat. And I barely see a woman. It just goes to show that there is this feeling of fear, anxiety and suffocation that stops women from owning this space like we men can. It's because we have, in one way or another, forced them to feel this way. I've seen how boys talk in boy groups and how they pass sexist slurs and make inappropriate comments, thinking it's just a joke. But it's not a joke. This very thinking has given rise to a culture that breeds monsters that are roaming around, free and fearless, endangering not only women, but also men, children, and even animals.
बहुत डर रहता है। मेरी एक दफ़ा जाती है तो मेरे हाथ में 10 कॉल्स जाती हैं पीछे, लेकिन अब क्या कर सकते हैं? मतलब उसको मैं अब मना तो नहीं कर सकती कि वो फ्रेंड्स से ना मिले या बाहर ना जाए या हैंग आउट ना करे।
It's just so hurtful कि हमें उस तरह देखा जाता है कि हम पता नहीं क्या कुछ चीज़ें दिखाने को, प्रेजेंट करने को। It's sad and it's disgusting, but like we've been going through this itna zyada कि even though we shouldn't feel like we should be used to this, part of us are used to it. अब तो norm बनता जा रहा है when it shouldn't be.
Thank you so much for watching this video. It would not have been possible without my fellow colleagues, Mariam and Momina.
I hope we were able to get our message across and you took away something from this video. Please let us know if you have any more suggestions for the next episodes of Up Close.